Hi, my name is Vanessa Gonzalez. I was diagnosed with breast cancer on April 8th, 2021. I underwent a bilateral mastectomy on May 27th, 2021. And I had 10 lymph nodes removed from my right armpit. 3 were tested positive. And I started chemo in July of 2021. I went 12 cycles of Taxol and 4 cycles of AC. And then in January of 2022, I started radiation, and I had 20 rounds of radiation. So when I found the lump, even before I had my results back from my biopsy, I knew what I was going to do. One, because I feared of reoccurrence in the left breast, and 2, because I never really liked them. They never really felt like me. It never was something that I felt really attached to. I never felt that it solidified my femininity. It just was something that was there. So my decision to remove both of them was gender affirming for me. And a lot of the times people, when they're grieving the loss of their breasts, but I didn't grieve it, but instead I had a process of figuring out who I was, how I identified myself. And that was just a completely different process than a lot of people that go through this. So one of the challenges that breast cancer patients deal with is having surgeons tell them what they need, having surgeons expect that they're getting reconstruction rather than offering them choices. And so when I went into that first appointment with my surgeons, who happened to be 2 women, I went in there like just ready to fight, because I knew what I wanted and I didn't want to be told otherwise. And luckily I was faced with 2 wonderful people that asked me what my pronouns were, didn't argue with me about going flat. I actually dealt more with having conversations with my mom than I did with the surgeons. I had to kind of be stern with my mom about asking about reconstruction, because every time I met with my doctors, my mom would FaceTime me from New York so that she can be a part of the process. And she would ask about reconstruction, and I just viscerally remember this one time where I had to just like stop her and be like, in front of my doctors, and just be like, no, I don't want this. I don't want you to continue to ask about this, because this is my decision. I specifically remember the first time that I was able to put a t-shirt on after surgery, which was about maybe 6 weeks out from surgery. And I just remember so clearly the feeling of it sitting differently on my shoulders, it sitting differently on my chest, it feeling differently, and almost like it gave me the permission to be who I really am deep down inside, and who I feel like I've been repressing for so long. So it was a very freeing and liberating moment for me. And that was the moment where I knew that I made the right decision. The breast cancer community, like on the surface level, is very hetero. It's very white. It's very post-menopausal. At the forefront, it doesn't seem inclusive, but you have to kind of dig and look for your community. And for me, it took a very long time, because I didn't feel like a lot of those support groups or just organizations in general focused on queer people, focused on people of color, focused on non-binary trans people. And so I had to go looking for some type of representation. But through cancer, I found my voice. I took up the space that I knew I needed. So my mindset kind of changed, and it was like, I'm just gonna walk into these spaces and be who I am and be my authentic self, and just shine that way, and not focus on what I can't find. For me, doing these types of projects are about just taking up space and showing myself in hopes that somebody can see me and say, wow, like that person, I can relate to that person because I didn't have that when I was diagnosed. What cancer does is it breaks you down. It breaks you down on a cellular level, it breaks you down on an energetic level, it breaks you down on a spiritual level. And so it brings to the surface all of the things in your life that you've never dealt with, the traumas that you've encountered, relationship trauma, family trauma, generational trauma, all of these things are brought to the surface, and that allows you to really sit in your own power when you know and when you listen to your intuition and you follow it and you do the things that are best for you. And although I had that ability before cancer, now it's a lot stronger, and now my intuition is stronger, and now I'm listening to myself more than I ever have in my entire life. And because of that, this past year and a half of healing after treatments has been so beautiful, so challenging, and just eye-opening. Do you have any other questions?
Do you feel good?
I do.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Great.